Hey, so in this video we are going to cover some of the best ways to invest while you're in your 20s. Maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're in your 30s, but generally speaking, this is going to be the most important time of your life to actually consider investing and thinking about how you're going to invest going forward in your life so that you can build as much wealth as possible and to be as best off as possible. So let's get into this video. There's really two grounds so we can go here, and we are just gonna cut to the channels here. But there's the really two roads we can go. So there's something that I would call the millionaire road, which is pretty well laid out of a lot of the people following this road, and they do success. I'm gonna to share with you in just a second, and then there's this something that I would call the multimillionaire or the billionaire road, and there's two different ways you can get here. Let's first cover the millionaire road, because this is what 90% of the people are going to follow. This is something that the person will follow, and it's something that's pretty well laid out. It's so too complicated. Just follow along there here, and hopefully everything will make sense. If you have any questions, hold them down and below, and I will be happy to respond as fast as possible. So the very first thing that you want to do is something that a lot of the people will like. Man, this doesn't sound fun, but you want to set up the retirement account. So you want to think about the ERAS, and this is just because not sounds fun at all. I mean, if you are 21, say you are 25, maybe you're 30, and they're thinking about retirement, like that's not cool and at all. You want to buy the cool stuff in your 20s, but you want to set yourself up to retirement, because the worst thing that the world is to see someone who is 75 years old and they living on the sidewalk because they didn't pay the social security, because they worked as the waiters their entire life they never paid taxes on it, they never built any retirement account. And it's really sad to this that I hate seeing that you don't want to end up running out of money when you are in your older years. Just it's not a fun thing to do. So you wanted to set yourself up for the success in the future. So the very first things that you wanted to do after the paying off all your debts, like the student loans debts, credit card debts, why not, and then you want to think about the ERA account. So here's the really two different types of the ERAs. Here's Roth ERAs, and here's the traditional ERAs account. Now you are not living in the American, maybe your country offers something similar. They probably do, and so you can look into that on your own here. But if you are living in America, there's the traditional and there's the Roth ERAs. If you are in your younger, you are not making a ton of the money, you're generally in your lower tax brackets, so you probably go to want to go with your Roth ERA, because that means you're going to get the taxes upfront of then, and don't pay taxes on that money later. But the traditional ERA, you are gonna to not pay taxes now, but pay taxes later, which you might have the much higher income, and that time later on in your life when you are making a lot of the money. So the best way to think of the ERA account is to sort of the like a house or like the shell, and you can put whatever you want into this ERA's account. So just like you can put furniture in a house, and you can decide how you want to suit your house, you can do that with the ERA account. You want to decide, maybe you want to do, you put PayPal stocks into your Walmart stocks or Amazon stocks or mutual funds, ETFs, bonds, CDS, whatever you want to put into that ERA account. You can choose that. And so that's what's really nice about having these different ERAs accounts. So once you set these up, you can put up to 5,500 per year into your ERAs accounts. And that's something I personally do: max out your ERAs accounts every single year from the age 20 to 59 or 60, and you're gonna to be set up for the success. Then you might want to switch over the traditional year rate at some point in your life when you are making a pretty decent amount of the money. But in your younger years, you wanted to max out that year race account 3,500 hours per year over the 40-year span, and you calculated this out. Well, it's just going to the bankrate.com. Here, a quick and for up the grab. Here is if you go from the age 20 to the age 60 and you're putting the 5,500 a year, 7% annual growth rate, which is the expected growth rate to over that. That's what we leverage from the past going into the past to the kind of the predict the future. We can see that the annual growth rate has been given or about 7% per year historically. So let's just project that into the future. Maybe we can knock this down by the 5 to 6% if we are really trying to be conservative here. But if we wrap this down, we can see that it's a little bit over the $1 million in the total account value from the just $5,000 per year or 5,500 per year over these times of your life. So this is the great road to go, just to set yourself up so that you know that you will be perfectly okay with you're getting ready to retire. You have everything set up and you can live in a very, very comfortable life once we have everything set up with the ERA account. And that's when you can think about same other different accounts that you might want to set up for investments. So you think about your 401ks now. This is going to depend on what company you work for and what type of the benefits that are they going to offer you. And there's obviously pros and cons to the 401ks. So you're going to want to deal this out with your own company. Most corporations do offer some type of the 401k plan. Not every organization will do that. But if you're in self-employed, you can also get the self-employed 401k. So there's a lot of the options behind this, but you want to think about that what type of the benefits that they are giving you. So a lot of the companies will match your contributions, or at least in the part match your contributions into a 401k plan, which is just the retirement. And this can be really beneficial if they allow you to decide what you want to invest into. But if a company, let's just take the Maxis for example, and I'm not sure what makes this policy, but if you are working for the Maxis and they only matches your stock if you are buying Maxis stocks, that's really important to think whatever or not what's going to be worse. It's to think about Macy's stocks 10 or 20 years down the road, where it might be. So you want to be feel that with your own organizations and what kind of the rules they have about that. If you are able to invest into the two different companies and they are still going to match that 3 to 401k, or if they force you into the buying their stocks in your 401k plan. So think about what's going forward once you have that set up. That's when you can think about your individual brokerage accounts. You can think about investing in the real estate. You can think about investing in the bond CDs, and this should be the pretty liquid in the terms of the stocks market. So if you want to get into the various stocks, you just want to put it into the mutual funds and ETFs and the bonds. But some things that's pretty liquid that you can resort if you have the emergency or you need to gain cash on hand to buy a car. You can go You can do that through this individual broker's account without having to pay any penalties from your wizards. Some money from the something like your ERA accounts or your 401k plan, which might incur some pennies on that, or withdraw your money before you actually retire. Alright, so as you can see, this road that we laid out here should set you up for the source. Maybe you are not going to be the quite a millionaire if you are just putting away the $5,500 a year, but if you are maximizing your Roth ERA, or you are maximizing out of the traditional ERA, you're putting money into the maybe your 401k on your individual broker account, just based on of what that you should be pretty well off. Obviously, we can't perfectly predict what's gonna happen 40 years from now, but generally speaking, it should be pretty well off. You should have more money than you had to start with, and that's because we look at the stocks market. It's never in the history of the 20 years span actually decreases in the total value. So that's something just to think about going forward. If your life now this is the millionaire road, this is the something that a lot of the people are going to do. It's sort like yellow bricks roads we can follow it, and it's very well laid out. Let's think about something that not a lot of people are able to accomplish, but if you are looking for the massive levels of the success, we are talking hundreds of the millions, billions of the dollars, being able to accumulate that much money. Not everybody wants that, but if you do, one of the best ways to actually do this is to learn from the best, just like how LeBron James probably watched Michael Jordan's as he grew up because he learned from the best. So if you want to learn from the best, you're gonna to work. You're gonna want to look at the 2,000 billionaires in the world, at learned how they became billionaires, because a lot of them are self-made. The recurring them among all of those billionaires is that they started their own businesses. Okay, they started their own businesses, and if you want to become the billionaire or be massively successful, then you want to think about starting your own businesses, because this is how you can go from $10 in 2018 to $10 million or $10 billion in just a year or two. Years or 3 years. Just take what we saw. This some of the people who founded Snapchat, who founded the Instagram, who founded the Facebook, and you don't have to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. You could be somebody like Warren Buffett, who bought the textile factory when they were not on the end at all, and then to grew that company Berkshire Hathaway to the billions of the dollars, and now he is believed the third richest person in the world, and so that is the billion around others things you are gonna want to do if you are trying to accomplish that. You want to think about how you're spending your time every second of your life, what you are going, and how you are investing your time, not only your money but investing your time, trying to become somebody who is massively successful. So what is the video wraps up this video. Any questions or comments, leaves them down below. I will try to get back to you as fast as possible. Don't forget to check out this video right here, and thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.